Hello everybody, this is Andy's Free Guitar Chart Videos. I'm going to be running a lesson this morning because I have to work for about 4 or 5 days after this, and it's going to be hodgepodge, mostly charting. So we have to continue on yesterday's lesson because it was only 3 segments, and hopefully we'll end up with a good weekly lesson after this part 2 of that subject matter, which is the blues. So we have here chart 366, blues modes, Mixolydian mode, pentatonics, very important stuff. Now I've kind of scaled back the magic key to 1 and 4 until I figure out what's going on, because yesterday, and it, as it happens with many techniques, if you don't test them out all the way through all the positions, C, A, G, E, and D, sometimes they can nip you in the butt. So I made an adjustment for the 5 over here. Instead of just the same blues magic key, we're going to use something different here, Mixolydian over there for now, but it's still the magic key, and also the 3 key blues is a new thing. So there's something, that we had to scale back our excitement on it. It's not going to be so simple. But one thing about the blues is that you can always play the same blues scale on all 3 of the groove chords. So let's look at what those groove chords are. So we've got our groove chords, right? You can do them on piano. In the key of C, it's C7. The 4th dominant would be F7, and then we get the G7 there. Whoa, thumb is definitely not wanting to do that. So, that's kind of like a lead, and that's like guitar. Guitar, if you're a piano player, you're doing all the fast playing on the right hand, and all of a sudden you become a good picker, I guess. But the melody is going to be done with the left hand, so it's I don't usually do that. So let's talk about excuse me, I'm just getting started here this morning. Let's talk about the groove chord. So what's the groove chord? The groove chord sets the mood so we can learn the blues. It's not a song, it's just 3 chords. It's C7 or 1-7, R dominant 7, and then 4 dominant 7. And then we go to 5 dominant 7. So that was just your 4-7. Okay, so that's our groove. We just set the groove, and that's what this column is. This is what the groove is. So we know where we are on the 1, 4, 5. Okay, now down here is an extra line down here. My birds are getting loud. There's an extra line down here that says blues note. So this row down here is going to be a summary of the blues notes involved in the column above it. Okay, so this is like sum it all up. The only complication here is that when we get to this column, I'll explain that the blues magic key, for now, I can only use it on the 1 and the 4. On the 5, I kind of wanted to do something different. Alright, let's zoom out a minute. I had to close my bird's door so that they weren't, and they stopped chirping as soon as you closed the door. Oh, we thought we were going to be part of the song. That's why they call them songbirds. So let's zoom out and look again at our chart here. Now today I'm going to try to focus on just today's chart, which I made in the middle of the night. We've got something from yesterday, which is the 145. Now there's a lot to cover that is tried and true stuff, and then I'm sharing with you my adventures in finding things out that aren't proven out. So it's like a beta version, you know. So that's I was kind of bummed out that I had to adjust this particular box in the chart, which is the fifth dominant. Okay, so when we get to the fifth, because what happened is, let's look at the blues key magic. Okay, now before we do that though, we better cover this column here. The normal diatonic mode, let's remember, is 145 Ionian, Lydian, Mixolydian. Okay, so we know what that is, and we're not going to play a blues note there at all. So we just do like an E-shaped C there, and I'm going to do a long E-shaped diatonic. Okay, and then we'd go to the fourth there. I know I made a little mistake, but it's really, I'm really tired. Okay, so we go to the fourth there, and we're going to be playing this Lydian. So we would play the Lydian at that point. We could start it there. Okay, notice it wasn't the same scale. You saw me start the same scale up a fourth, but I didn't play the same scale. That's important to realize. But we are going to be playing the same scale in Mixolydian 3-key blues. Oh, that's going to be fun. So we're going to get to that. We just have to get over that grogginess. Yeah, grogginess. Alright. So then we have our Mixolydian fifth, and notice I'm going to just move up here for the Mixolydian fifth, but I'm not going to play the same scale that I played on the fourth or on the root down here. Okay, so I took it all the way up to the root. That's that column. We've covered it. We did not play a blues note, so this is completely modal. Or did we? That Mixolydian contained the only naturally occurring blues note in the flatted seventh, it is, in that set of modal scales. In the set of normal modal scales, Ionian, Dorian, you know, Phrygian, that kind of thing, that blues note comes. Now wait a minute, when you get to Dorian, Phrygian, and Aeolian, and even Locrian, yeah, you're probably hitting other blues notes, and we're going to use that concept to get those blues notes for free. In other words, they're going to be part of the scale. Okay, so the interesting thing about a blues note that's part of a scale already. Okay, so now we're going to go to the blues key magic. The interesting thing about when we play a scale that contains a blues note already, let's just predefine the blues notes, what they would be. Let's just look at root 2-3 here. Alright, we'd want that flatted third, so we want it on the D. We want that flatted sixth. Okay, so we got the flatted third, root 2 right there, and then we'll go to our 4, but we want our flatted fifth like that. So we got, okay, like that. It's almost chromatic. And then we want the flatted seventh, of course. So we're going up here, 6, flatted seventh,